God, I ask that you speak to me divinely and let it flow from me, through me, so we can get to the right people. Lord, I ask that you activate you divinely, intuitively, let the right people know to show up. That's not going to be everybody, but the right people, Lord, I ask that you allow. Hi, this is Tara Pritchett, Confidence Coach for Women, here to help you get your shit together. Welcome to the Unleash Your Fierce Purpose virtual tour. There are a total of 5 virtual stops. I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be on Facebook. I'm going to be in a Facebook group. I'm going to be on Instagram Live. And there will not be a replay there because that's the way Instagram is set up. And I'm also going to be over on Periscope. So make sure you're following me. You can search my name, Taria, or you can search for at Unleash Your Fierce on Periscope or at Unleash Fierce on Instagram. So welcome to our first stop. So I'm taking some notes just to make sure I'm focused because I'm only doing about 15 minutes or less on every single stop, and every single stop has a focus. If you're on my email list, then you have our schedule for tonight. You also received a note sheet that has the little boxes on it, or you can take notes. So if you're taking notes at each and every single stop as we go through this virtual purpose tour, if you take a snippet of it, post it to Instagram or Facebook, and you tag me in it so that I'm able to see it, or you send me an email with a little screenshot of it, you will enter win a free 20-minute Unleash Your Fierce Purpose session with me. That could be talking about, how to discover your purpose, or that could be talking about ways for you to be more disciplined if you feel as though you're wasting time and you're not really putting the time in. Or it could be you building a brand. It could be you with your business and social media or a product. It really depends on how you want to utilize that time that we spend together. So we're going to use it very strategically and very wisely. If, again, you decide to meet me at every single stop and you also decide to give me comments at every single stop, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So our focus for this particular stop is the start of it all, right? It's the start of it all. And this particular stop is, I think, honestly, the most important. It's the foundation for all the rest of the purpose gems that I'm going to be dropping throughout social media and throughout this tour, right? It's the essence of why we are here and what purpose is. Usually I'm always talking about, being fierce and being confident, being worthy and being powerful, which is awesome, which is amazing, right? But the only way for you to be worthy and to be fierce and to be confident is to know your purpose, because purpose is the root, the center, the foundation of it all. If you have a solid foundation of purpose, then everything else kind of falls into alignment. But so many women come to me, they get on the phone with me, they email me, they DM me, they private message me, and they're like, you know what? I don't know what my purpose is. And 9 times out of 10, those same women are struggling with worthiness. They're struggling with money. They're struggling with their body. They're struggling with men and relationships, right? Because purpose is all interconnected together. It is at the root of it. Because when you know your purpose, you know your worth, you know you're valuable. Because you know you're bringing something to the rest of the world, the rest of society, to your partner, to your children, to your family, that no one else is bringing to the table. But because God blessed you, right, then you and only you can bring that to the table. But do you know what you're supposed to bring to the table? Right? Because there is something you bring to the table. And it's obviously also the expectation that others are bringing things to the table. But it's important that as a woman, if you're going to be fierce, you're going to be confident, that you're going to bring some goodness to the table. Welcome to all that are viewing me. Thank you for showing up live. I appreciate it. Okay. So I was just saying that our first stop is about how to push purpose, right? And I'm talking about the fact that so many women struggle to discover what their purpose is. And that's going to be on my next stop when we head over to Facebook Live, right? Over on my Facebook page. You can find me at Tara Pritchett, Confidence Coach for Women, to follow me over there. Okay. So like I said, when it comes to purpose, right, in order to fully push your purpose out, and I mean push as far as push it out. Think of a baby, right? when it's time for you to deliver, you have to push it out, right? And it's my belief that you, right, and so many women are pregnant with purpose. You're just carrying it around with you everywhere you go. You have little inklings about it. You've thought about it. You've thought about it. You know about it. But you're afraid to step out on it. You've been making excuses. I procrastinate. I don't got time. I don't got money. Or I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But it's my belief that all of us know what it is that we have been called to do, right? Because in order to get pregnant, what has to happen? You have to conceive, right? And you have to conceive, right? It takes 2 to tango. And when it comes to your purpose, you've already conceived and don't even know it. Because when you're born, God puts it inside of you, right? And I know that might sound weird, but it's the truth. He is literally inside of you. It is always inside of you. But as we grow, and as we get older, when we're little girls, we have these big ass dreams. And believe my wedding's going to be like this. I'm going to have a man like this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this kind of money. But then life happens, right? And you get into the world and you see how harsh the world can be on us, especially as women. And that's when doubt comes in. That's when worry. That's when you're afraid to step out. But also, that's when you start to get in what I like to call the survival mode, survivor's mentality. And you start falling into the status quo of what you're supposed to do. So, we're supposed to go to school. We're supposed to get good grades, get honor roll, go to college, get a degree. We're supposed to, again, follow this little path that's kind of set out for us. It's a little cookie cutter path that's set out for us, right? And that little girl with those big dreams and big goals, right? Things start happening, right? Bad experiences start popping up. We get into that status quo, like, oh my God, I have to get good grades, and we focus on that, and we go to college because we're told we have to go to college or we're not going to get a good job. We're not going to get a good career, right? So that's the route that we follow. But our purpose, right, and our calling is not always our job or our career, right? Sometimes it's something else. Sometimes it's something more, or sometimes we're in the right career field, but maybe we're not in the right area, right? Maybe you do one thing. Maybe you're currently a nurse, but you were really destined to be a doctor. But maybe you're like, I ain't going to med school. I'm not paying that money. I ain't doing all that. But that's really your real purpose, right? Sometimes we're in the right area, but we're not necessarily playing the right role. Right? And other times we have this survivor's mentality, and that's how we end up living paycheck to paycheck, right? And not playing our sacred role, as I like to call it, right? So instead of that survivor mentality, like I can only focus on making money so that I can eat and I can do this and I can do that, right? That's that living paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes that's that poverty mindset that we grow up in, right? And a lot of people grow up with that, right? Because that's just so rampant. That's just what most people subscribe to, right? However, it's the difference between having that survivor's mindset. I have to survive. I have to eat, right? So I can't invest maybe, $100 over here in this program that might be able to help me out because I have this $100 and I need to go buy, this bag, or I need to go do X, Y, and Z, right? However, if you invested, you'll be able to learn how to multiply that money. If you invested in the right place, learn how to multiply that money, monetize it, and then you can make even more money so you can buy whatever you want plus more, right? And that's when we get into that survivor's mindset. However, tonight on this purpose journey, I want you to think about what is your sacred role? Because there's a difference between having a survivor's mentality over here than actually playing into your sacred role as a woman, right? Sacred is of God. Sacred is spiritual, right? We all have a sacred role, and that's your calling, right? And there's a difference between a purpose, a calling, and an assignment. So I want to get into, I created a little acronym. I wrote it down so I make sure I stay on task so that we stay within our time frame for each of our stops. But the acronym has to do with the word push, right? This is how to push purpose out. Like I said, you already conceived. God already put the purpose in you. Right now, you're pregnant. You're carrying it. Some of y'all are really sitting on it, right? Some of y'all are 9 months, y'all overdue. Y'all water is about to break, right? And you don't even know it. But this is a new year. It is a new time. The world needs what it is that you have to offer. But you have to be confident enough, fierce enough to go after it and do it, even when you don't want to do it. How many times have I told myself, I'm not live streaming, I'm not getting on video, y'all can't be looking at me. And what am I doing right now? You're looking at me, right? I was so terrified to do that before, right? Because I was in that old mindset. I was in my comfort zone. I'm judging myself. I'm like, oh, they're going to see the little fat here. I'm not going to know what I'm talking about. It's just not going to flow. How many things did I come up with my mind to hold me back? And look where I am now, right? But it didn't happen overnight, but I had to do some work on myself so that I can be here to deliver to you, right? That's the beauty of purpose and having a role versus just surviving, because you go to work because you have to go to work. But when you have your sacred role, you're doing your sacred role because God called you to do it. So you bring a whole different energy to the table. But then when you put that positive energy into it, then positive energy comes back. People, places, things, money will come to you when people start to see, damn, she's really in her gift. She's really good at that. That's so good. I will pay her $1,000 to come in and do X, Y, and Z. Right? I recently heard about somebody, I'm trying to remember, it was on Facebook, it was Kim Kardashian. I think she taught someone who's a popular hairstylist. She paid her, I don't know if it was thousands of dollars to teach her how to braid hair, right? Because her daughter, obviously Kanye is their father, right? And she needed somebody, right, to teach her how to braid hair. So she found somebody who's good at that braiding hair. She paid them thousands. She paid that stylist thousands just to teach her how to braid her daughter's hair. Girl, right? So sometimes our purpose doesn't have to be this big old grand thing. Our roles might always be huge and over the box, over the top all the time. Some of us think we have to be on the stage speaking to people and be Oprah. No, you could be braiding hair and making millions. That could be your purpose and your sacred role. And I'll talk about that more at my next stop, how to really pinpoint what your sacred role is. But let's get into push really quick because we have about 5 more minutes left. So how to push into purpose. You conceive, you're pregnant, it's time for you to push it out, right? You're holding on to it for too long. So the first thing you have to do for the P is position yourself, right, for your sacred role. That means getting around the right people. That means getting some new books. That means learning some new things, right? That means doing some self-awareness work to make sure you're really in alignment with your purpose. And those questions in my next stop are really going to help you get in the right mode you need to position yourself. Because when you're positioned, people are going to start coming to you saying, hey, I'll pay you to do X, Y, and Z. Or, hey, I saw that you did that on Facebook. Can you come do that over here? Or, oh, I heard that, blah, 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 right? But you have to be positioned. That means you have to build up your platform. And again, a platform doesn't have to necessarily be speaking on a stage. Your platform could simply be you popping up on Instagram, say, hey, I braid hair every Thursday from such and that. That can be your platform. It could be small. It could be you sending out a text to everybody, hey, I have this new, line of stationery, and this is what I'm doing with it. Right? And just texting it out to some family or friends to get it started. That could be your platform. It could be something small. It doesn't have to be huge. Some people do YouTube, right? They have YouTube channels and they blow up and they become huge. That's their platform, right? But it could be on natural hair. It could be a little reality show. It could be comedy. It depends on what their sacred role is. But you got to position yourself. So you got to be in the right place at the right time. And that takes planning in order to push that purpose out, right? So next is going to be the U in push, right? And the U is understanding your CPA. And this is something I learned from my mentor, Shannon Yvette. But the CPA is simply your calling, your purpose, your assignment. There are 3 different things: a calling, purpose, assignment, right? So your calling is your sacred role. It is that sacred thing that God put inside of you, right, that you've been pregnant with year after year after year, that you are not fully pushing out into the world and cultivating, right? That is your calling. That is only unique to you. Whatever your name is, whatever time you was born, it's unique to you because you were born fierce, right? And then we have CPA, calling, purpose. Everybody has purpose, right? But your purpose is not the same as your calling. Again, your calling is unique to only you, your DNA, your blueprint. Nobody else can claim it. Your purpose, right? Your purpose is to become the highest, fullest expression of yourself. So when people are like, oh, I want to fulfill my potential, I want to step into my purpose, right? Those broad and general terms, purpose, right? That potential piece, that's you being in full alignment with God, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, right? That's you, representing the emotions most connected to Him, which are love, bliss, love, peace, harmony. All of those emotions are when you're in alignment. When you're not in alignment, you feel anxious, you feel depressed, you feel upset, you feel angry, you feel frustrated, you feel defeated. All of those things mean you're out of alignment. You're not in purpose, because that's not what purpose is. Purpose is when you feel the love all the time. You're feeling the love, you're feeling bliss, you're feeling harmony, you're feeling peace, right? I got it right that time. You're feeling the peace, right? That's what purpose is. And purpose, that's you doing that every day. Every single day when you wake up is knowing you're fierce, you're loved, you're worthy, all of that together. So we got calling, we got purpose, we got assignment. So when it comes to our assignments, sometimes we like the assignments God gives us, sometimes we don't. So maybe for a certain season, He has you working at a certain place so you can learn certain skills. So when you do get into your sacred role, you're ready for whatever comes your way because you've already been a leader here. So now you use it here. An assignment could also be that He needs you to be a mom, right? Because He's going to literally bring somebody through you to push out, right? That could be your assignment. Like maybe the first 5 years of their life, you really need to be home or you need to be with them. You might not be giving your sacred role as much attention during that time, but that's fine because you have another assignment. Assignment could also be taking care of an elderly parent for a certain period of time. Right? So again, those are assignments. Sometimes we like them, sometimes we don't. Sometimes they're lessons, sometimes they're blessings. It depends on what God's trying to do, not to you, but through you, right? Because again, back to your purpose, he's pushing you to be the highest, fullest expression of yourself, right? So therefore, he has to get you information. So you have to go through certain experiences to A, figure out what your purpose is, to B, figure out your sacred role, aka your calling, and C, different assignments come in different seasons. Sometimes it's one season, sometimes it's multiple seasons, right? But I don't know if you've ever thought of it that way, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it. So I'm happy that my mentor, Shannon Yvette, broke it down for me in that way. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. Now that makes sense, okay? So my last two for push, because I got to get to my next stop, for my S is to now, once you position yourself with your purpose, right, you understand your different roles you're playing, right, then it's time for you to step into it. It's time for you to take action, right, instead of just being pregnant with that purpose, knowing what your calling is, knowing what your assignment is, knowing your purpose. Now it's time to take action and literally push to deliver, to go through the labor and delivery process. Push it out into the world. Take a step, take an action, do something that maybe you haven't done in a long time, or something new that you need to do. And I'll be talking about at my fourth stop over on Instagram, okay, how to step out of your comfort zone, right? If that's something that's really bothering you or something that you've been struggling with, you're not going to want to miss that. So lastly, once you step into it, lastly is the H for push. So once you have pushed out purpose and you start glowing and flowing and being in that particular element, other people are going to notice. Like I said, people, places, things, and opportunities will come to you. But you're also unconsciously, right, and not on purpose, you're going to start giving other people permission to step into their purpose. And that is the beauty of being in yours. It is the beauty of you knowing your sacred role. And it's the beauty of you following it versus you just surviving, right? Instead of you thriving and being in your role and being in that zone, right? Which is the important part. Because when you shine and when you glow, you give other people the permission to glow, right? Even for me, like I said, I was afraid to do live stream. I've watched 1 million live streams. So now I'm like, okay, girl, I can do that. You did that. Like, wow, I can do that, right? But that's because somebody else had the courage to get on, do their thing, and shine and glow. It also, not on purpose, but it gave me also that permission to do so. So I gave myself that permission. And that's what purpose is also all about. Once you get into your formation and you get your role together, then you go out and you help even more. And that's how the world becomes a better place. That's how the society, right, becomes a place full of love and healing and hope and all of the things that we really need at this time. Because for such a time as this, we need purpose. We need you to step into your sacred role and show up and show out. Okay. So that's going to conclude our first stop for tonight. I'm going to be off on to Facebook. If you are enjoying this, hopefully you are taking notes. Don't forget, if you're taking notes, that you can submit it to me at the end so that you could possibly win a free Unleash Your Fierce Purpose coaching session with me. Also, if you are on my Unleash Your Fierce Purpose email list, you will be receiving a special invitation as well as a ton of freebies and the days to come to join me in a community of like-minded women. As I mentioned, my mentor, Shannon Yvette, right? She has this large vision of bringing together women who also know they're pregnant with purpose, who also know that they have a sacred role and they want to fulfill it. And we're bringing all of these women together with resources, with love, and with guidance to help you on this journey. Because stepping out in a purpose and knowing your sacred role, right? It may sound good when I'm saying it, but we all know it's not easy. It's not easy. Everybody around us doesn't always understand what we have been called to do. So sometimes we need other like-minded people in our corner to support us, or we need guidance, or we need mentors, right? To guide us and direct us so we know exactly what our role is and how to fulfill it. Okay. All right. So that's going to conclude our first stop. Oh, thank you, Cindy. That's going to conclude our first stop. Go to unleashyourfierce.com/purpose society to make sure you're on the list to continue to get freebies and to get an invitation to our Purpose Society.